Hello and welcome to a very special video. Today we're going to talk about this chapter approved. This was from 2001. Effectively it's 24 years old and yikes, it's old enough to drink in the States, own a firearm, and to have served at least a single term in the military and or gone to a basic degree in college. Wow. This is around the time I had really kind of come back to Warhammer. I'd been basically involved with it before that, but third edition is really one of my favorite things. Yes, I am old. Oh, now this book does cover a number of different things within it, and well, you'll see a little bit of a red light because the camera doesn't have that ability to turn it off. But I'm going to give you a quick really synopsis of what's in here, and then we're going to flip through it while I talk about some of my thoughts. If there's a little bit of jitter, I'm sorry about that. The camera mount's kind of iffy. But this covers I believe, Sisters of Battle list, a revised Necron. So if you're a Necrons fan, this is really where they changed up the Necrons to a larger degree. You're going to be hearing probably some comments from Torshi. A Blood Angels Death Company with Tycho in it, which is one of my favorite characters from them, and the Imperial Guard Armored Company rules. It also has a number of additional scenarios, so there's some scenarios in there for at least third edition. We got Grey Knights, the various Chaos things, Cult Terminators, Night Fighting, extended rules, and Ultramarine special characters. So let's go ahead and just pop this open real quick. And now one thing I think is interesting is there's a little bar on the side of the page, and they are color coded. Here's I could have just opened this, I'm sorry about that, but this is a really good shape. I had to replace mine because it fell apart. It was reasonably 24 years old. And I'm going to bring this over here. Now, these are the Sisters of Battle I remember. I actually own this version of the Rhino. That was a Rogue Trader Air one, and it came in the RTO. I forget the name or the number of the box. I'm probably messing up the number myself and getting it mixed up. But these are the white metal sisters and, priest or, priest. And then some of the orcs there. We get a little bit of art for them. We get a small story, and then we get special rules. Now, I was never a major Sisters of Battle player, but my brother was. So this was kind of one of those things I wanted to get reacquire, and we get some different equipment in here, some more equipment here. Another fantastic image of I think this might have appeared in City Fight, I think, but I'm probably getting that wrong. It's been forever since I looked at the City Fight Codex. Another book I would like to get my hands on. Then we get into some more rules. Of course, we got some more equipment, and then one of my favorite, the Administratum vehicle upgrades. Dozer blades, extra armor. Extra armor was usually a little package you could get. I remember it mostly from the Forge World. Was it Forge World? It's been a while. Holy Icon Hunter Killer Missiles, which I believe are still around. Searchlights, smoker grenades, and then we get a summary of all of the units with their basic stats. And then, of course, special weapons. Now, this book is 21 years ago. I don't think Games Workshop's going to overly care. And then we get a Canonist Celestian Superior, Celestian Bodyguards, Elites. Let's just slide that over here. Elites. Now, I always really liked the Sisters of Battle. They always, in my opinion, added to the setting. And we're just going to focus a little bit on these pieces of art as best I can. And I always thought they were a fantastic addition. One problem I've had with the idea of female Adeptus Custodes, besides it's just kind of ridiculous, and how are we going to tell the difference, really? Because the treatments. The point being is I always disliked it because, like the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Silence were a fantastic element. We didn't need female custodes. We had Sisters of Silence, who, there's a classic piece of art for you guys, were a fantastic counterpoint to what we have in the custodes. You have the brutish male, and then the more agile and, well, diplomatic in some cases, a version of the Sisters of Silence, especially the same dynamic with the Sisters of Battle and the Space Marines. They are the peanut butter and chocolate, and if I could have peanut butter again, I would definitely be very happy about that analogy. But in my opinion, they're very much like that old commercial. It's really hard to go back to just peanut butter or chocolate when you want to snack when you've had both. Fantastic. They work really well together. And then we get this. This is one of those things I just definitely wanted to go over. I had pretty much most of these. Now, at the time, I had been basically out of school, and I was working a job, and I remember picking some of these up as my cats decided to torment one another on the side of the room because they're jerks. This was one of my first Space Wolves codexes. I never got the earlier ones, but I really liked the art on it, and I really especially enjoy it. I'm trying to get it back, but a little side tangent. What happened with my original stuff was a lot of it got stolen and crushed in a move. Then my Dark Angels, and then we'll go over here, and we got this fantastic ad for one of the best Chaos Space Marine books to ever exist. A classic Tyranids. I never really liked this version of the Dark Elder. I'm sorry, guys. I have always liked their slight revision and the revision to their art. Orcs. Then we're going to slide down here. We get Imperial Guard, Catachans, who had their own codex, which was fun. Elder, and the Craft World. I always enjoy going over these little ads a little bit. And then we get this. And if you guys want, I'll cover this book a little bit more in detail. If you ask, just let me know in the comments. This is where I think Torshi will probably bring up his personal dislike and issues with the Necrons. This is when they had basically started making some of their alterations, at least formally, with the Necrons. Now, it's not really the whole, revision. This is just kind of the start of it. But you get this, well, I believe they started calling these Chaos Cyborg art, or it was taken from that, from one of the board games. I don't remember which one. We get some special rules for them. We get a fantastic little story introducing a bit of the kind of secondary attempt at their art, which I actually kind of enjoyed the blockiness of the Necron warriors in this. And then we get a summary for them. We got the Necron Lord, the Immortal, the Warrior, the Destroyer, the Scarabs, and then their ranged weapons. The Gauss weapons always being kind of their big thing. And here's another fantastic piece of art. I've always enjoyed this. I like John Blanche's art, though I really wish that they would give, oh god, I just forgot his name. Oh, Lord, a couple other artists, I wish they would do some of their units that they have did artwork for, especially from some of the 3rd edition Chaos Codex, and give them some models. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll probably close out right after we talk about this. Old school Catachan. Here we go, some old school Necrons for you. Here's the thing, I'm caught in the middle. I both like the Terminator-esque Necrons, which, yes, again, Games Workshop borrowing from another and then whining when you borrow from them, because you're naughty if you do it, but it's okay when they're doing inspiration, am I right? And then we got some not inspired by Predator. So we have Terminator and Predator right there. I love it. I really do enjoy this. And then we got right here a little conversation on the Vox. And we'll go through this real quick. We got our Necron Lord, which is not a bad character. He is a little... The thing with the Necrons in this entry is they are fairly simplistic. This is before a big change in when their newer codex came out and kind of formalized a big chunk of it. You got the Necron Immortals, we got the Warriors, the Scarabs. Another fantastic piece of art here. It's just great. And then we go into Def Company. And if you guys want, I'll do another one and I'll talk about... I can always talk about any of these topics in more depth and kind of give you more of a video over it. But I, as a Blood Angels guy, when I got into it, I really liked Dark Angels, Blood Angels. I got the Space Wolves because my brother liked them. He likes Vikings and all that. And this is one of those things for me. And here we go. Let me give my little outro thing while we look at this fantastic Def Company Marines. These are the metal ones with plastic arms. We got Tycho up here. One of my favorite Blood Angels characters. As some idiot goes speeding off. I would love to get the plastic Def Guard guys themselves. I've always enjoyed them. I wanted them with the bolters, but that's just me. Regardless, it has been quite an interesting time all of these years later. Enough to, in a way, call it a, you could almost act like this was a child. All of these years later, 24 years on, and I still prefer 3rd edition. I know that there's some lacking in it. I know there's some wackiness to it. And I know all that. But the thing is there's no perfect version of the rules. There's no perfect version of any game. And at some point you have to settle on what you like. But one thing I would like to say was, we look at this stuff is... We'll go ahead and bring this down here so you guys can see it. You have to figure out what you like. And one of the most destructive things you can do, if you're big into Warhammer, is let yourself be taken by the Warhammer Edition treadmill. What I would suggest, just like myself, and this is from my own experience, is look at what you enjoy the most. When a new edition comes out, see if it actually provides the things you want. If you know someone who's dived in early, see if they'll give you some intro games, let you grapple with the rules, see what's different, and at the end of the day, make an informed purchase that's best for you. One of the things that Games Workshop ultimately would love you to do, as my neighbors drive by in as loud a manner as they can, is for you to simply purchase whatever they put out with no question. Remember, to them, you are a consumer. To me, you're a customer. If we agree or disagree, I only intend to tell you how I feel in the most truthful and honest way I can. So, I would say we'll talk about some of this some more. I'll talk about 3rd edition more. I'll talk about older editions if you guys would like me to pop out some of my older books, and I am in the process of reacquiring some. And you can actually see my rig right there. Nice. So I'd like to thank everybody, and it was kind of nice to do this. I can always talk in more detail about any of these parts if you're interested in it, and give some of my personal feelings and experiences. Right now, I just wanted to go through it and have a little bit of a yammer. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and if we never meet again, that you have a wonderful life. Bye-bye.